So, while my computer compiles that stuff, brief history, it might come as a surprise to you that, unlike most people who get into radio, I did not start with CB. No. Nor I even started with communications per se. Actually, the first thing that I did, I started on a 2-meter band, even before I was allowed to actually operate it, but I was just listening at the time. I grabbed one of these. It's the UE5R. I think everyone has one or had one at some point. And I just messed around with different repeaters and exploring my local area and all that stuff and figuring out exactly what people were speaking or where and how radio waves worked and all that stuff. But sooner I moved to actually satellites, not these. I wasn't very interested in ground communications, not as much as I am now. So I moved in with satellites. At some point I took great pictures, even at some point using satellites like NOAA or the Meteor series, because meanwhile Trump took down the NOAA. And initially I used to do this by hand. Still in my old house. But then, later on, I built one of these. And now this one is retired. I retired it. But yes, I built one of these, and yeah. And I use that instead of doing everything manually. So this is an omnidirectional egg beater, if you want to call it that, antenna. And instead of doing everything manually with a Yagi and pointing, I actually just mounted one of those and would listen using an SDR, specifically this one. This is a NOAA, I believe, NOAA Smart version 5, I think that's what it's called. NOAA Smart V5, I believe. Yeah, that's what it's called. I started actually with one of those and decompiling images that came from the satellite, from baseband or whatever it's called, or wave files if it was the NOAA, or like, yeah. There was a bunch of stuff that I did satellite related. Later on, I started exploring the Tetra protocol, still using SDR, but I didn't go very far on those studies. And then I started using shortwave, because from that little SDR I discovered that shortwave is actually very active. And I started using shortwave and CB, and that's how I went where I am right now. I'm currently installing gpredict, which allows me to see satellite paths and stuff like that. Because I discovered that there is a small satellite called the OTP-2, I believe. And I believe I can actually show you that here in the computer. Which is this satellite, I believe it's OTP-2. Yeah, there it is. Now this satellite plays on the 400. The downlink is on the 400, but there's also a 2 gigahertz thing. And this plays the this basically plays the Kerbal Space Program song. I believe that's what it does. Because I've seen many people online messing around with these, and well, it operates on UHF. So I started on 2 meter, I then went a bit into 70 centimeter, but I never explored much until recently that I also started exploring that. So I went into my storage. Now this will be a crucial role for this video, which is to hunt down this satellite, or at least get a pass or something, and well, seeing where it goes, I guess. And so this will be a crucial tool because this can operate in the 450, I believe. 450, yes. So as you can see, I was able to dial in the frequency, and I can listen to that frequency if needed. Next thing we need to do is an antenna, and that's where I went into the storage for. So I built this antenna out of the old antenna that I used to manually hunt satellites with, VHF satellites. I built this antenna. It was broken for a while, and then I rebuilt it, and I prepared it for UHF, and we should be able to hunt down the Kerbal Space Program playing music satellite with these. I made a handle out of electric tape, and I adapted an SMA connector to plug in the radio. So the only thing that we are left to do is find the satellite and find a good route on gpredict, and then well, finding a good pass. Or you can always use N2IO as well, but I like gpredict because I can plug in my location and all that stuff, and I don't want to plug my location on public websites. And if I go check the 10-day predictions, I have a pass today at 11:26. Okay. 11:26, and it comes from north 8 degrees, and we land at southwest 200 degrees. Well, I mean, let's try this pass. Let's try checking it. I'm not exactly sure if it's gonna be cool, but well, we can check it. Just waiting on gpredict to finish, and we will be back soon. So before we even strap the radio, we need to make sure that there are two things that the radio has. So one of them is the right frequency, which is 450. Ignore the one down. The radio is not even in dual watch either. The other thing that we need to do is turn off the squelch so we get better results. Yeah, it's gonna be annoying, but you will get results like this. And now basically the radio is prepared, and you can strap it to the antenna. Just in order to, I'm just gonna do that to be able to film with one end, but yes, it's not a requirement to strap it to the antenna. So let's do that next. So here's the final result. Considering that the pass will be from 8 degrees north to 220 southwest, I believe, I determined that the best place to actually listen to this is from my room window, because north 8 degrees is over there, and then southwest is from behind. So we have this whole window up here above the house, which should be alright. And yeah, should be alright to actually do that. And so I strapped the radio. One small modification that I did was put a little bit of tape in the contacts of the battery charger, and I also locked the I also locked the frequencies, as you can see by the key next to the battery symbol, and that is done by pressing the pound sign and holding it for a while. Unlocking is the same way, you press it for a while and it will unlock, but you can also lock. I didn't tighten the tape in order to be pressing any buttons, but I still decided to activate the lock just in case. And we should be ready to go when it's go time. And therefore I'm gonna leave this here so you can admire my beautiful work of art, which is the handheld OTP-2 catcher, I guess. And hopefully we will get something. Yeah. So let's wait for tonight. So after plugging the radar, the satellite TLA data and checking the radar with center in my house, I realized that the angle is actually pretty stupid. The way that I was doing is pretty stupid. It's only gonna be for like 3 minutes on my room window. I'm gonna be way luckier to catch it going south from the other side, that is this door. So I'm gonna try and do that, I guess, and we will see how that goes. We gotta wait for the night. Let's hope it goes okay. If it fails, there's always tomorrow. There's just always tomorrow. So that specific pass, I actually failed. Couldn't actually get the satellite in conditions. However, I figured out a much better pass with a higher elevation setting, and it would happen 4 days after this pass. So we're gonna check that one out and see how that one goes and how that went actually. Okay, so it is another day. We are 4 days after that initial video was recorded, and we are gonna get another pass of OTP-2, I believe. It's gonna be in about 7 minutes. So yeah, gonna get everything ready and we'll see how that one goes. Let's see if we catch it this time. The previous one obviously was a failure, but well, it is what it is. Alright, so it is on the radar already. Let's wait just 1 more minute so it gets in the correct orientation for me and with a decent looking elevation. Right, because the way it is right now, it won't pass the mountains. Let's check key times to know where to aim, because 1040 is so 1040 is south, 1042 is more to the west. All right, it's gonna be a fast pass, I believe. Let's check it. Let's check it now. Where is it? All right. something that way. Trying to use it at an angle. We got it. That was cool.